I want to start with something very simple, something we all already know but rarely notice. Everything in nature moves in rhythm. Breathing, inhale, exhale. The heart contracts, releases. There's day and night, expansion and contraction. Even walking is a rhythm. One step, then another. Everything alive seems to move between two poles, and not as a contradiction, but as a pattern. And for a long time, I didn't question this until I started noticing something strange. We don't actually experience life as rhythm, we experience it as extremes. So we don't say I'm in a phase of expansion, we say I'm doing well. And we don't say I'm in contraction, we say I'm failing. It's as if something naturally moving becomes something fixed inside us, something that defines us. And I started wondering why. Why do we always assume that one side of life is right and the other is wrong? Think about how often we do this. We want confidence, but not self-doubt. Discipline, but not rest. We want strength, but not vulnerability. Freedom, but not responsibility. And we want control, but not surrender. It's as if we're constantly trying to eliminate half of reality. Not just avoid it, but erase it altogether. And I don't think this starts with philosophy. I think it starts with something much more immediate. The way we enter life through identity. Let me give you an example. If I watch a football match without supporting anyone, the game is just movement. It might be interesting, it might not be interesting, but it is definitely emotionally flat. But the moment I take a side, everything changes. Now it's not just a game, it's my team. A goal becomes joy or disappointment. A mistake becomes injustice or stupidity. The match didn't change, I did. Because I entered experience through identity. And I think we do this with life itself. We don't just experience events, we become someone inside the event. I am the successful one. I'm the one who is behind. I'm the strong one. I am the one who is struggling. And once that happens, life is no longer just movement, it becomes evidence. Evidence for who I am and evidence against who I am not. But there's something deeper happening underneath this. Inside each of us, there seems to be a natural split. One part of us wants structure, order, meaning. It wants to understand, to plan, and to control. And another part of us wants instinct, desire, immediate experience, reaction, drama. Neither is wrong, but each, when it takes over, starts acting it's as if the whole person. The mind becomes me, the body becomes me. And the tension between them creates internal friction. This is where I started noticing something more clearly. And a simple image that helped me understand this is a pendulum. At the very edge of a pendulum swing, everything feels extreme. One side feels like rise, the other feels like fall. Success feels like arrival, and failure feels like collapse. But something important is happening in that movement. The further you are from the center, the more dramatic the experience becomes. And not because reality is extreme, but because position creates intensity. And I started wondering, maybe this is how we live, at the edge of experience, where every success feels like becoming someone and every failure feels like losing yourself, where life is not just movement but emotional amplification. Because we are not observing the swing, we are living at its tip. And when you are at the tip of a pendulum, you don't just experience movement, you experience direction as identity. And this is where something crucial happens. We don't just take sides in football, we take sides inside ourselves. This is where the internal split becomes visible. One part of us lives in structure, the other in instinct. The head wants order, meaning, prediction. The body wants impulse, desire, immediacy. And once we identify with one, we begin to reject the other. But neither disappears. It returns indirectly as tension, as reaction, as emotional swings we cannot fully explain. It's as if life keeps reintroducing what we excluded, and not to punish us, but to restore balance. And this made me ask a different question. What would it mean not to become one side? Not to reject structure or instinct, but to stop mistaking either for who I am. So instead of saying I am disciplined, what if I said I'm experiencing discipline? And instead of I'm emotional, what if I said I'm experiencing emotion? That shift might seem small, but it changes something fundamental, because now I am no longer trapped at the edge of the pendulum. I am aware of the swing itself, and from there, something subtle becomes possible. A position in us that is not the thinker, not the instinct, but the one that can observe both, and not just as ideas, but as lived movement. This is what I call the observing position. Not a side and not an identity, but the capacity to notice without immediately becoming. And the more I notice this, the more I wonder if this is what I've been missing all along. Not a better identity, not a stronger side, but a different position altogether. And not inside the rhythm, but aware of it. So maybe the real question is not how do I choose the right side of myself, but what happens when I stop living at the edge of a swing? Because I've started to suspect something simple but very difficult to live. We don't suffer because life moves in rhythm. We suffer because we live at the tip of it. And we mistake movement for identity.